powerlifting as a sport? Absolutely not. I do not like powerlifting. I love powerlifting. Easy answer. Is it true you mix hook grip? Absolutely. I've been doing that for probably the past 4 meets. It was the only thing I could kind of think of to get my grip to where I needed it to be to pull the weights I was capable of. It's definitely tricky to do. I think it's harder than double over, but it works for me. I get this question asked about my height all the time. I am 4'11". If you want to get really, really down to it, I'm 4'10 3/4 with my spiky hair. I think I deserve an extra half inch, maybe a whole inch. I'm not sure. Thank you. I don't know what to say to the inspiration part. I'm just being my best self, and if you pull inspiration from that, then I'm super, super awesome. And it's super awesome for me, and I'm very appreciative of that. So thank you for that. This right here is a much harder question to answer than the previous ones. It is definitely difficult balancing everything. Obviously, having a full-time job and being a dad to a teenager and also an infant, and also being the best partner to my fiance I can possibly be, because she deserves the best from me as well, and also training. A big thing that helped a lot with the family balance was the home gym, so I didn't have to travel any further going to the gym and then travel further, from the gym back home. I can go straight home after work and kind of just grind and hit the gym. So that helped a ton. And as far as being a dad, just show up when it matters and be there when it counts and do your best. So that's my answer. I kind of have a protege. Her name's Lindsay. I made a post about her first competition not so long ago. She did very well. She got best female lifter for the day during that. It was really, really cool. She was actually a client of mine when I was personal training, and we became friends, and she's a great friend of the family's. And so she's kind of like my protege. So I'm very proud of her for finally making that leap into powerlifting. She went 8 for 9. I think the bench was a bit of a fumble on my part, not on her part. We made a big jump to secure a big PR. But either way, so she's definitely my protege, and I'm super proud of her. And then obviously my son, when he comes of age, you damn sure he's going to be powerlifting. This is absolutely true. As far as dealing with the pain, I had about 2 days before the competition, sitting in the hotel room, just rehabbing it. I did ice baths. I did super hot soaks. And then I also had a tinge unit, which, if you don't know what that is, it's like a little apparatus that hooks up with little pads, and you can stick them anywhere in your body, and they send small electrical, signals like into muscles and things like that, to kind of help heal and promote kind of some blood flow. But that doesn't do a lot for like nerve pain, so that's like in the main thing. So I always kind of have like a small back, pain, but when you have inflammation, that causes kind of pinching on the nerve. And there's not a whole lot you can do for that other than like stretching. So I did a bunch of stretches, and obviously to deal with the pain during the competition, I did every 2 hours ibuprofen. This is an absolutely fantastic question. The most underrated accessory, I'm kind of torn, because I feel like the SSB bar, definitely like for beginners, to get the squat depth and build that kind of thick, lean muscle in the legs and glutes. SSB bar is like top tier. And then another S tier kind of, I don't even know what to call it, a machine or whatever, is the belt squat. Specifically for me, in my opinion, the belt squat that I have in my gym, that right there, it's more of like a 1-to-1. And I feel like it really, really helps with still kind of developing the squat and developing the legs without necessarily over working the back. And that's the Squat Max MD. So those two things for sure. Unfortunately, there is no cure, I think, to back pain. At least, if you find one out, DM me, please. We just kind of deal with it and make sure you stretch. So when it comes to like chronic pain, I think as an athlete, it's more about like warming up. The importance of like warming up is really important. So you want to be as preventative as possible. Make sure you stretch well before and after training, and also listen to your body. If you go to do deadlifts or squats one day, you're like, holy shit, my back is really fucking tight today. Nothing I do seems to make me get loose and stuff like that. It might be better just to skip that day. I mean, seriously, having one less training day in the grand scope of everything, is it really going to kill you? And then it's better to not train on a bad day and hurt yourself than train on a bad day. And then now, guess what? Now you're hurt for a month or so. So I kind of talked about this one a couple questions ago. It absolutely has, because, my biggest problem was my hands, very small hands, but they're kind of meaty because of like this big ass palm I have. And it was difficult to hold on to that bigger weight. I've been capable of deadlifting over 600 pounds for probably years, but the problem was the grip. So coming from an Olympic lifting background, all those guys, all we do is use hook grip. So I was like, let me implement that. So, but it was more comfortable to do mixed hook grip because I had been training mixed grip, obviously, one under, one over, for years for powerlifting. So I was like, how do I merge the two? And it just clicked, like, just fucking hook grip, motherfucker. And it's helped a ton because now if I can hold on to it, I can lift it. So that's pretty convenient. So what do I do for a full-time job? My full-time job is being a dad and an awesome fiance and super handsome man. But on my part-time, I like to sell cars. That's a tricky question because, to give you the generic answer, rivalry in powerlifting is kind of a moot point for me because I feel like, if you're stronger, you're stronger. There's no necessarily. And for me, I don't really let a lot of the noise kind of get to me, whether like people are posting or people talking shit. Because believe it or not, a lot of people talk shit at powerlifting. But I guess you kind of got to. You got to believe in yourself, I guess. I'm not hating on anybody. But I guess to answer your question truthfully, my only rival is really myself. Because if I know that if I show up and I'm my best self and perform to the best of my capabilities, I am unbeatable. So, yeah, I would say myself. I don't really follow other powerlifters, and I really don't give a shit about them. I care about what I can do on the day. Absolutely not, amigo. That's absolutely not. You will have to tune in to the World Championships and see if I need to pull that much. We may not have to, because I'm going to be leading that entire time. So we'll see. This is a fantastic question. Absolutely. As far as the programming, I don't think that I'm ready for coaching yet. There's so many things that happen behind the scenes, and so I feel like I wouldn't want to do like hands-on coaching. Now I do kind of offer some programming for folks, but that's on a client by client, person by person basis, not necessarily like a book. I would love to do like a how to squat like a world champion kind of book, like just like where the entire book is just how to squat big, how to squat consistently, and how to squat without back pain and knee pain and da-da-da-da-da, because I think that's really important, and that's kind of what I specialize in. The squat's kind of my lift. But as far as coaching, not quite yet. My immediate family, like those who live in the house with me, like my kids and my fiance, they, obviously they know it's a humongous part of my life, and they're super supportive. My fiance, Jessica, is my rock, and I don't think I'd be here at this level of competition without her. She's been there to pick up the pieces of me whenever I had a bad competition and I was just like in a huge funk, and she's been there to celebrate with me when I've had big wins. So without her, I don't think I'd be at this level. So she's obviously super supportive. My daughter's super supportive. So yeah, and then as far as my extended family, I don't unfortunately have like that much like to do with them, and vice versa. So my people who live under my roof are my family, and that's how I kind of see it. So they are very supportive. This one right here is a phenomenal question, and I will have to say, as far as sharing like if your question is competing with the guy, definitely Keith Mahoney. When I started, he was like the top guy in the 66s. And for a while, it was kind of like I was like chasing him. Or, you know what I mean? He deadlifted way more than me, but we were so close on a few lifts. And, I mean, this guy was like nothing I ever seen before. I would watch him in the back room, and this guy he'd maybe do like a little stretch here and there. He would take 0 warm-ups. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. The guy just straight woke up, brushed his teeth, and could his max squat. It's insane. And he was the most unforgettable lifter. And it was really cool to share the platform with him for that short amount of time. A lot of respect for him. This is tricky. The most memorable competition I've ever been to, whether it be powerlifting or weightlifting, was definitely high school state championships. That was electrifying. I still remember it as if it was yesterday. But if we're talking about powerlifting, I would definitely say the World Championships in South Africa for sure. Just because I felt like it was such a surreal feeling for me to go from years ago thinking I'd never compete again or let alone travel outside the country again, to then be in Africa representing America and breaking a world record. And it was just that whole meet. I had a feeling of just appreciation of being there and just excitement. And so, yes, that was probably my favorite powerlifting meet I've ever been to. What has contributed the most? Doing deadlifts. I know that sounds like a stupid answer, but like just doing deadlifts. You can accessorize the shit out of deadlifts, deficit, wider stance, conventional, just doing the deadlift. Because it's like, especially when you pull sumo, it's such a kind of like different stance. Like if you think about it, you don't pick up anything in that stance, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like if you go to pick up a fucking box, you're not like, okay, let me measure my legs, you know? So just doing deadlifts, I think, just doing them more. So I do deadlifts about 3 times a week. And on one of those specific days, it's just hammering the hook grip and kind of making my calluses tougher and working on the grip. So I would say, obviously, aside from the grip, just doing more deadlifts. So I do like technical deadlift day, I do heavy deadlift day, and that works for me. As far as coaching, it'll probably be after I'm all done lifting. So it'll be something that it'll be like the next journey that I start with powerlifting once I'm done being a lifter myself. No hate at all, bro. I get it. It's a question that everybody asks because they see it as, oh, he's probably, using steroids to be as strong as he is. And I don't take offense to it. I used to let it bother me, but now I look at it as like a compliment. But 100% natural athlete, I always have been. I've never failed a drug test, and I have been doing strength sports since I was about 16 years old. But yes, so no, it's not required. Have I lifted against guys that I thought may be on the sauce? A couple times. But me, myself, no. And then obviously I am testament that you can get to this level without taking anything. So first want to say, huge honor to be an inspiration to someone. My max bench, if we're just talking about like the most I've ever benched in my garage, not in a competition, it's probably about 415. And that was every bit of my max to get it. And then I think my max in a competition is like 178 kilos, so just shy of 400 pounds, like 390 something. And that's, both. I actually do have a YouTube channel, and I have quite a few videos on how to do bench and how to do squat and stuff. You should go check it out.